Welcome back to part 2 of our series on the differences between ballet styles. As we learned in the first video, ballet is not a single style of dance, but rather much closer to a language that has many different accents and even dialects. And today we're taking a look at the style of one of the most important ballet schools and companies in the world, the Paris Opera Ballet. But why is the Paris Opera so important, and what is it that sets French dancers apart? Well, the truth is, we could do an entire documentary on those questions alone, but we're going to go over some of the major points. First of all, the Paris Opera is the oldest ballet company in the world. That's right, it was the first one to ever exist. And this can often surprise people because we so deeply associate ballet with the Russian school. But actually, ballet was conceived, but really it was codified in France under French King Louis XIV in the 1600s, which is why, even to this day, no matter where you are in the world, the ballet steps are still always called by their French names. But what will probably not surprise you is that what sets French dancers apart and what they're really known for stylistically is their chic elegance and reserved glamour, very similar to French fashion. They're also known for their phenomenal precision footwork that we can see here on students from the Paris Opera with one of their most revered teachers, who is also Sylvie Guillem's teacher. And we don't have to look very long to see the emphasis on exacting footwork. But now let's take a look at some of the specifics. As we saw in the first video of this series, we can see so much of a dancer's style and training in the way that they use their backs. And here we have Paris Opera Étoiles and the former director, Aurélie Dupont, in the Nikia death scene from the ballet Le Bayadère. This is a gorgeous and soulful moment in the ballet where the temple dancer Nikia is forced to dance at the engagement party of her love. And you can see in these back bends here, these are not enormous movements, right? It's not very gymnastic. It's the expression of this moment is coming through in her musicality, in the way she uses her facial expression, and in the subtleties of the way she goes back. You see, it's not very far. She's not auditioning for the Olympic gymnastic team. And in this movement, pay special attention to how she goes down with her back. You see, it stays pretty flat, and she's always in control. And the same thing in this series of backbends on the ground. And now let's take a look at this exact same moment in the ballet on a Russian ballerina. Here we have Natalia Osipova in the same movements, or are they? You can see how it's much more gymnastic. She's holding nothing back. The drama is very, very obvious, and the lines and the bending is much more extreme. And this is not at all to say that the French don't make great drama. They do, but the emphasis is different. Here we have the same ballerina that we started with, Aurélie Dupont, in Kenneth Macmillan's Manon in the title role. And you can see her drama, her power, her storytelling in the way she holds herself, certainly in the way she uses her eyes, right? And in these subtle movements and musicality. You see, this special drama comes through in the tension. It's like water boiling below the surface or raging behind the dam. And this reserved, understated drama is going to be a massive difference between the French school and many other schools, but especially between the French and the Russians. And if you think these two styles are different, in part 3, we're going to take a look at the dancers from the New York City Ballet, which is a style that is a world unto itself and distinctly and drastically different in many ways from both the French and the Russian schools. And if you like this, make sure you hit subscribe. We have a ton of great dance content on the way. I'm Cynthia Dragoni, The Dance Lens.